Hi guys, this is Dr. Aeronautics. Today we are going to obtain a cactus. It's been far long enough and there's so many recipes that require, again, seriously, there's so many recipes that require cactuses that we just have to have one. And Norsden Land, as we saw in the full satellite map, which I can show you, using the maps that we generated in-game, I was able to copy and paste them together to get one nearly contiguous map of Norsden Land. And unfortunately, none of Norsden Land, including its satellite islands, is desert. So, because Norsden Land is replacing North America, and because cactuses are only indigenous to North and South America, that means we're going to have to go to South America. So, we are going to fly from up here at New Venice all the way down to Santiago, Chile. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Chile. To Arturo Benitez International. And the runways here are plenty long enough to land. And out here, just a few miles outside the city, are some cactuses. And we are going to collect some. The plane that we're going to be using is the newly built A340 for Norsden Land. So the A340 was recently built in Oss. Here it is shortly after completion. And the plane was flown back to New Venice. The plane was using schematics that nearly exactly match those found on the Airbus website. So, unfortunately, though, this means that because of the cramped airliner conditions that airlines typically use, it was very difficult to actually find enough space to even walk inside the Minecraft version, because the walls all have to be 1 meter thick. But in the real-life version, we've actually designed the A340 for the leaders. And rather than have this difficult 380-seat configuration, I have changed it to a 228-seat configuration. All of the seats are business class, so there's 179 of those seats. And then there's 3 skylofts for the 3 pilots, which are very interesting and very fun. So there's 3 actual bedrooms on board. Then there's 34 lounge-style seating, which have tables in the center, and then there's 12 attendants that typically sit around the craft, and then there's of course 3 pilots. So actually counting the pilots as part of the leaders of Norsden Land, we can fit 228 total people on board this plane. So now we're going to plan the route. So we need to get the distance from New Venice to Santiago, Chile. And that turns out to be 4,440. So now we go over to our calculator. And here's the information here if you want to read about our particular A340. We can fit a rail cart on board, but we can't carry the F-104. So that's worth noting. We're not going to actually bring one, though. Okay, so local arrival time. We want to get there right when the sun rises. So 8 a.m. The distance is 4,400. Let's just do 4,500 to round off. The departure time zone is UTC -7. And I think Chile uses -5. No, actually, they use -3. That's interesting, given that they're at 70 degrees west. Huh. Okay. So, they're using -3. Okay. So that means that we're going to depart New Venice at, looks like about 7:40 p.m. And then we're going to spend the night on board. It's traveling for 8 hours, and then we will arrive there at 8 a.m. So see you on board the craft. So here we are. I've already walked over from the city. It's a horrible day here in New Venice, as we expected. This is a swamp after all. It's actually thunderstorming right now. So we're going to go ahead and start the craft up. Now the neat thing about this is that everything on board the craft is handled via the kneeboard, which is actually an in-game checklist. So we actually don't need to worry about all the other stuff that we typically worry about, and I don't have to flip through papers. I will tell you, when we start this thing up, it's going to be an interesting flight through the clouds and thunderstorms, but the neat thing is we're going to be going above them, so it's going to look really awesome when we get up there. Let's run through the startup procedure so we can go to the checklists and begin starting up our very own A340. So the pre-check parking brake is set, throttle idle, and again we have 4 engines here. Perfect. Idle. Battery master switch on. So we'll open the overhead, and now we have battery power. And sounds like the fans are running, which is fine. Panel light as required. We don't need it right now. Landing gear lever, check down. It's down. We have 3 lock lights. Flaps up. Let's go ahead and check that as well. Flaps are up. Spoiler retracted. And the spoiler is retracted. So now for flight plan, generate load, activate. Before we do that, I'm going to actually start up the APU so that we don't have to use the battery. So now we're going to go to APU, and we're going to switch the APU on. Once I find the APU starts, there it is. Okay. Okay, we have nominal voltage, APU generator on. Okay, we now have voltage. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video while I do the flight plan. Okay, the flight plan has been loaded, so we're check. Fuel quantity, calculate and load. Let's go ahead and check what our fuel quantity is. We want, there it is, fuel. And these are showing nearly full tanks, knowing the numbers. So that's set. Engine instruments check. EGT is the ambient air temperature. Fuel's checking out. Everything looks good. Aircraft lighting check off. And everything is off. Good. Flight controls check. Let's go ahead and now here's the cool thing is we have computer displays, so we don't need to actually physically check it because it shows the position here. There we go. Flight controls check out. And now we want to check the weather with the ATIS. So let's go ahead and tune the radio.
Guadalajara Airport information, Lima 01160, wind 043.
There's a lot of wind.
Sky conditions 2,500, scattered, ceiling 9,000, broken, thunderstorms in the area, temperature 18.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Altimeter 3016, ILS runway 10 in use, landing and departing runway 10.
Okay, good. Yeah, the thunderstorm means that flight is going to be tricky. Looks like it's getting dark now, so I'm actually going to go ahead and switch the panel light on now. Okay, so that's done. Let's go ahead and request clearance. Hopefully, they're not going to turn us down because it's too thunderstormy. So let's go ahead and request IFR clearance.
Ground, Airbus Golf Victor, Romeo Echo Delta, IFR, Santiago, ready to touch. Airbus Golf Victor, Romeo Echo Delta, is cleared to Santiago, airport is filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain,
16,000, that's lower than I expected. So now I'm going to set the autopilot here. Oh, come on. There, that's what I wanted. Oh my gosh. Oh, did not want that. Okay, we got to acknowledge now. For some reason, they're flying us to 1600, which is lower than I thought. I'm not sure. Maybe if it has the thunderstorm or something to do with. Okay. Good. So that is set. Clearance has been given, although for some reason we're lower. We can request a different altitude, though, if we want to, because after all, we are the leaders of Norsden Land. Okay, next thing, we need the beacon switch on. Check, beacon is on. Startup checklist. Thrust levers to idle. Check. Engine area clear. And this is the cool thing. We actually have onboard cameras that we can switch to. And now we can actually use our view right here. So now what I'm actually going to do is go ahead and shut all of the exits now before we depart, because everyone should now be on board. Okay, there we go. Okay, that is check. So now the next thing that we need to do, engine area clear. I want to actually initiate a backup now. So we're going to go ahead and move back now some. Get a pushback from the gate before we start up.
Guadalajara, ground, orbit 79er, 79er, ready to copy IFR clearance to Tijuana. Orbit 79er, 79er is cleared to Tijuana Airport.
Huh, he's going to Tijuana. How about that? It's one of the few Mexican cities that I know. Okay. Pushback is done. Engineer is clear. Mode selector to ignition start. Start engine 1 now. and 20% thrust on. And engine 1 has started. Fuel flow has stabilized. And once N1 and N2 synchronize, we can start engine 2. Okay, we're good. Engine 2 is going up. %. Engine 2 is started. Fuel flow has stabilized. And N1 and N2 are synchronizing. Engine 3 going up. Okay, engine 3 is started. Watch, the fuel flow is stabilized. N1 and N2 are synchronizing. Engine 4 start. Fuel flow on. Okay. Engine 4 is up. And RPM is synchronizing. Mode selector to normal. Now we're going to run through the before taxi checklist. Strobe light on. Navigation and logo recognition lights on. Taxi lights on. Heading indicator and altimeter set. We already set altimeters, so we're set for that. Avionics set for departure. Should be set. Standby in. No. Autopilot set and off. Initially holding 250 knots. Okay, autopilot is now set and off. Flight director on. Auto brake to rejected takeoff. Now I'm going to request taxi clearance. Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, we've received permission to taxi now. Check time, 7:26, so we're making good time. Okay, passenger signs on. No smoking flight and seatbelts on. Okay, let us taxi. of the neat things about this airplane is it has some very powerful Trent engines. Yeah, why did I not hear a hold position caution of other traffic? Yeah, so basically, as I was saying before that guy cut me off, the Trent engines are very powerful, and I think they're Trent. They might be Rolls-Royce, but anyway, they're incredibly powerful. And when you power them up, instead of sounding like a regular airliner, where they just sound like wind going shh, these engines start to actually hum like a high-powered car. It's pretty crazy, but it's a very powerful airplane. So when the N2 or N1 gets above 80%, just like the actually, I can't remember now what it was, the airplane that had this going on, but basically when you know, when the engines get up above 80% RPM, then you know the aircraft is working hard. What the heck is this? Stupid Dash 8. Alright, let's continue running through the before takeoff checklist. We just checked the brakes, so that's good. To avoid holding up traffic, we're going to continue to set the flaps now to set, indentation 2. 1, 2. Good. Spoilers retracted. And they are. Turn the landing lights on. And engine instruments and navigation equipment checks out. And here is V1, VR, V2. And we're ready to continue to the runway. So I'm going to stop the video now, and we'll come back upon reaching the runway. See you then. You know, I just now realized these taxiways are giant. Even the taxiways at JFK aren't this big. So the airport here is built for very big aircraft. Because I'm about almost as big as they get. The only things that I can think of bigger than an A340. Boeing 777 is about the same size, and a Boeing 747 is larger, and a Airbus A380 is larger. But other than those two vehicles, I don't think there's another craft that might be larger than us, because we're a very big craft. Time to request takeoff clearance. I could have figured that. Oh wow, check this out. Oh, nice. Where's the smoke?
Number 2 for land.
Wait, another one's coming?
Cleared to land, runway 10, number 2. Moody, off at Echo Kilo. Pacific 740, exit runway with you.
Okay, so one thing that I may have missed or wasn't on the checklist was the pitch trim. I set it to 6 degrees nose up, which is where I like it. And now to activate autopilot, all I need to do is turn on autopilot, auto throttle, nav hold, and altitude hold, and then we should be, and then of course speed hold as well, should be on autopilot. So here's what the initial takeoff run looks like. So I'm going to stick this right here so we can refer to it. And I'm going to pause the video again until we have takeoff clearance.
Runway 10.
Okay, we've actually been cleared for takeoff.
Runway 10, Airbus Golf Victor Romeo Echo Delta. Going 1K1.9er, Moody, off at Echo Kilo.
I'm not sure when that Dash 8 took off. I didn't hear him go up, but I guess he must have, because I don't see him anymore. Okay, thrust set to idle. While we get lined up here. Okay, we have a good enough alignment. Thrust to 40%. And here it goes. 100% thrust set. And there's that beautiful music of high-powered engines. $80. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate, gear up. Touch brakes. Flaps retract 1. Flaps up. Autopilot on. Acknowledge the handoff. Okay, altimeter hasn't changed. Trimming for 250 knots. Turn right heading 125, proceed on course. Turning right heading 125. Climb and maintain 16,000. Auto brake off. Taxi light switch off. And above 10,000 feet, we can knock off the landing lights. We're above 10,000 feet now. Oh, for goodness sake. Landing lights off. Looks like we're still going through the clouds. There's a lot of turbulence. ATC following. We're not ready to take the seatbelts off. Above 200, above 10,000 feet, accelerating to 280 knots. We can also climb. Oh no, we're already up at that increased rate. Still can't see any stars yet. Will do. .014. Okay, here comes the level off point, and there we go. That's exactly what I was hoping they would do. So now we have 29,000 feet. Let's put this up again. We're getting close to transition altitude. Let's take a look out the window and finally cleared out. Still a little bit shaky though. I'm not ready to turn off the seatbelt sign quite yet. Transition 29902. Okay, and above here, flight level 180, maintain 0.70 Mach. Flight level 240 will do the next thing. So our most efficient cruising altitude is 39,000 feet, but we're going to do 37,000 instead because this isn't too long a distance. I'm going to pull our avionics out further. Now they said maintain 125 and then resume on navigation. So I'm going to resume on navigation right now. looks like flight's finally gotten stable now, so I'm ready to turn the seatbelt sign off. .77 Mach. That was kind of cool. Where's our navigation lights? Weird. I don't see them. Okay, we're at 27,000 feet now. Well, I can barely hear her. Next number, Mach .82. Okay, you gonna give me my next higher altitude? Yes. Will do. And 370 is the final cruising altitude. Good. Why are we going cross-track? Okay, sure. It's gonna bring us closer to our goal, that's for sure. Looks like we're finally above the final cloud layer. It's possible that the plan hasn't loaded properly. I could have sworn it did. Okay. We're above 33,000 now, so we're going to go to Mach .84. That's the final speed. let's see if it will actually move us to where we need to be. We'll just use the GPS mode instead. Okay, we're coming up on the cruising altitude now. And check. Good, 0 setting. Okay, we're entering cruise. Now would be a good time to adjust our secondary to 29902. Here we are in cruise. Or are we? I think the GPS or our navigation is getting rid of the cross track. Okay, since very little is happening right now, I'm going to stop the video. We'll come back when we go over the ADIA motion. See you then. Okay, so here we are still in cruise. I brought the clock up. GMT, it's 2:20, and local, it's about 8:30 p.m. It's going to change as we go eastward. We're now about to go out over the ADIA motion. I believe this is the coast right here. There it is. Just went out over the ocean. On our way to South America at nearly 600 miles per hour. We also have a view below us. Looks like there's still thunderstorms going on down there. Here's some other views that we can get. Oh, just saw a lightning bolt. From under the main gear. And this one is under the nose gear. And this is the old favorite tail cam. So it's a long way still all the way down to Chile. So I guess I'll pause the video, and if something interesting happens, I'll come back. Otherwise, I will come back when we fly over the mainland of South America. So see you then. Hey guys, it's about 10 o'clock now. And I would have gone to bed in my Skyloft by now. But little bit of interest. We're flying over Las Galapagos right around now. They should be somewhere down here off to the right side of the aircraft. Kind of difficult to spot with all these clouds. Looks like they're off about here-ish. Yeah, there's probably not much to see. I'll show it if there is, but I'll go ahead and see you guys when we get over Chile. So we're actually a little bit closer now, and I can start to spot them. And by that I mean the Los Galapagos. Here's one. There's another one back here that's kind of difficult to see. Then there was another one down here somewhere that I saw, but I just figured I'd showcase that. And it looks like the moon has risen and is up somewhere, because I do see some sort of specular reflection. There it is. Wow, look at that. See you guys in Chile. Okay, everyone. We're getting close to our... Oh, have to get that. So, we're off the coast of Antofagasta right now, Chile. We're getting close to our destination. So here we are, and here is the destination. Two interesting things have come up. One is I'm still curious to know whether or not my calculator is going to work, and we're going to get there when we expect. So we'll have to check that out. Also, it's quite late night now. It's around 3, it's actually 4:30 a.m. now. And there's a little bit of air glow off to the east by, there you can see it's getting a little bit brighter. So dawn is getting closer. As of now, very soon we will expect descent vectors for Santiago. So I'm going to stop the video again, and we'll come back when we're ready for descent. Now, another interesting thing that has come up is the fuel burn. We've now burned almost 65% of our fuel in only 4,000 nautical miles, which means in a linear case, we're limited to about 7,500 miles, which is incorrect. We should have 9,600 miles of fuel. So I have two theories. One is there's been significant headwind the entire time, and two, the fact that we're not at 39,000 feet might have something to do with it, but I'm hoping it's one of those two, and not that we just don't have that much in our tanks. So I'm going to see you guys on the way approaching Santiago. See you then. Okay, so we're about 250 nautical miles away from Santiago right now, and hopefully we will have better weather down there. Chile is well known for being the driest, one of the driest areas of Earth. It's been called the Maarse of Earth. So, well, a little bit earlier the weather looked a little bit better, but now it's looking a little bit more cloudy. So, hopefully the weather down there is good and dry, and we'll have a nice, easy, clear descent. Okay, so it's just suddenly gotten very dry, which makes me very happy. There's hardly a cloud in the sky, and the sky looks incredibly clear. Chile has come into view. There's lots and lots of cactuses down there, and I can't wait to, get my hands on one of them. So, I repeat, Chile is in view. It's almost 5 o'clock local time, and we're going to begin the descent very, very soon. We're probably going to get ATC orders to descend in just a few miles. If we do the 3-to-1 rule, we should begin our descent at 110 nautical miles out, and the ATC is probably going to call it before that. So I'm going to pause the video and then come back when we reach 120, and then we're going to go straight on from there all the way till landing. See you at 120. Okay, there it is. Flight level 250, we're descending. So I was about to say we've just been transferred from a ocean-going line to a land line to, and I was about to say it's probably going to be a lot noisier now down there, and it is, because this is a land-based ATC. I've run through the descent checklist so far, and we're now descending goal for 0.75 Mach. So I'm not going to put the seatbelts on because it is clear as can be. I am absolutely fantastic about that. Could just be descending a little bit faster here. Let's check our fuel again. All total about 34%, which means landing should be fairly easy. Not as easy as it could be, but certainly not as bad as if it would be if fuel was at 80%, which is like the maximum landing weight. And we're at 32 degrees south, so we're actually further south than New Venice's north now, if you can imagine that. Come down a little bit faster because we're now at the target speed of Mach 0.75. Keep looking at this. Looks like there's hardly anything we have to do until about 10,000 feet. Just going through 30,000. Be getting our next instruction very soon. That was a little bit early. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going down to 17,000. And the next speed to hold is 0.68. So I'm setting that now. And he said ILS runway 17. Okay, that's good. That's basically a straight in. Heading 150. $20,000. Okay, transition altitude 300 knots. Now very soon he should tell me to contact another approach. $8,100. Because he needs to tell me the local altimeter. Looking good. Okay, we need to be descending faster. Okay, at this point, I'm going to be turning the seatbelts on. So fasten seatbelt sign is on. Feet, landing lights on, speed 240 knots. quantity check. Okay. Okay, now please tell me what the local altimeter is. 29 or 9 or 3. 085. Okay, we're at 8,100 now. What does the autopilot think it's doing? Yeah, I know. I'm actually wondering why that's happening myself. No, don't do that. What the heck are you doing? Stop doing that. What the heck is going on? Man, this autopilot is retarded. It can't hold an altitude. Two 9 or 903, still have it. Why is our angle of attack so high? We're not that heavy. Okay, this is it. Okay, let's start looking for the runway. Speed established 210 knots. Position 1, flaps. Okay, runway should be off there. Not seeing anything yet. Okay, it's time to make the final turn to the runway. Okay, I think that's our runway. Okay, autopilot, let's see if you can handle 5,000. Actually, that looks like another airplane. I see a runway. Okay, here is the parking destination. Full stop. Okay. Brake set. Throttle to idle. Passenger signs off. Taxi light off. Strobe light off. Recognition, logo, and navigation off. Flight director off. Check our systems one more time. Seems I've forgotten to shut down the APU. No matter. Lol. De-ice off. Pilot heat off. APU off. APU shut down. Good. Inertial off, which, by the way, 24 south 33 degrees. Huh. Yep, pretty far south actually. Okay, system off. Reset autopilot. Okay. Autopilot is off and reset. All engine fuel flows cut off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, our jets are off. Beacon light off. Panel light off. Start opening doors here. Okay, just wait for the final N2 tick for 0. Good. Master battery switch off. And now we're done. Except we have to wait till morning now before getting out of the vehicle. Because of the mobs. Okay, so it's morning now. I just got out of the airport and the airplane. Welcome to the country around Santiago. And there's cactuses everywhere. So all I need is 3 of them. And I said I couldn't wait to get my hands on a cactus. Here it is. We have Cactus. And because I have such a good spirit, I'm going to go ahead and put the cactuses back. And there we have it. 3 cactuses. Which means we are finished. So now we go home, right? Wrong. Oh, so very wrong. Instead of going home, north, we're going to go south. We're going to go south for as long as we possibly can and can't go any further south. Next episode, Norsden Land, Antarctica. See you then. Bye.